This build is a well-rounded beast. It has amazing clear, you can kill any Uber bosses without problems, you can also just stand there and tonk them if you want to. What's up guys, Pidget here. Let's see what things we got on the damage side. The build is using 2 active skill gems, one for mopping, one for Uber bossing. Our bossing skill is Toxic Rain. Firing a projectile with your bow and where it lands you create a spark pad and this will start dealing chaos damage over time in an area and they can overlap with each other. You need reach a certain increased area threshold to get out the maximum overlap. The magic number is 39%. At this point all of your pods will overlap. We're reaching this using the bow mastery on the tree, that's 20, quality on Toxic Rain 10%, the remaining we will get a simple glove craft from our bench and voila, 39% increased area effect. Or clear skill Caustic Arrow. You fire with your bow and where this projectile lands it will create caustic ground and this will deal chaos damage over time. Alone this skill is not too good for clearing, because of that we are adding Aronova support to it. With this combination our clear will much faster. Don't worry, you don't have to switch around skills on mob bosses, because the build can handle even with Caustic Arrow. Our biggest and best multiplier is coming from a secondary source. Using ballistas we can 5 of these guys. They will help stack wither on the bosses, which is 90% chaos damage taken increased by default. They deal good amount of damage as well. Also we get an Ascendancy node that will increase the wither effect and also give us chance to inflict wither. Other really big damage increase is the skill effect duration, because the pods will stay longer in fights and deal damage for longer duration. Thanks to the tattoos we can reach really high percentage skill effect duration. On the defensive side we converting almost all of the physical damage taken to elemental damage. We have 91%. Using Lighting Coil that's around 50%. A unique flask, namely Taste of Fate, that's 23%, because we have increased flask effect allocated on the tree. 10% because we're using Watcher Eye, 8% from our helmet, because we take that many damage as elemental we can use all the elemental damage reduction flask, Ruby, Topaz and the unique Sapphire flask Taste of Fate, so reducing the damage we take from the physical damage that we convert into elemental damage. We have elemental elements immunity because we're using the unique Jewel Ancestral Vision. Spell suppression is also applying to chance to avoid elemental elements at half of their value, and the rest is from the tree and boot simplicities and the single craft. Using Petrified Blood if you not used this aura before. This makes us unable to recover 50% life without a life flask, but for exchange we will stagger percentage of the damage we take and it will deal to us over 4 seconds. We have insane recovery from our Ascendancy because we're taking Pathfinder. We can use the Master Surgeon node that will make our life flask still active if our life reaching full, making it extremely good with Petrified Blood. I'm very happy about how the build turned out. You guys asked me many times to make a build that can tank almost anything and can mob fast at the same time. Any side activity is just dream, especially Expedition. Also we don't have to worry about any map mods because there is 0 map mods that breaks the build. This is why this build is an extremely good mapper. If they don't over-nerf Pathfinder and other things this will be my league starter. I had a really good time playing with this character and I'm a little bit sad. I have to move to the next build. I would like if you hit the like button like the Shaper hitting the Elder so it can start spread to more people. Thank you! Few important things you need in the build. Because we're using Eldritch Battery we need to use Evasion and Energy Shield bases and the pure Energy Shield base helmet to able to just spam or ability. Aim on your weapon, +1 Sogated Bow Gems, increase chaos damage over time, attack speed and then craft +2 support gems and chaos damage over time multiplier. On your keyword, normal and chaos damage over time multiplier, increase damage with bows and attack speed. On your amulet, damage over time multiplier, +1 to all chaos skill gems, or anointment is potency of will. Worth to mention here we're using 2 Vermilion ring with high life and attributes, because with this I wanted to switch out all the small attributes nodes to other useful things. I just use essences or chaos spam these 2 rings. Also I crafted minimum frenzy charges. The following implicits you can craft with Eldritch currency. Spam till you get the following. On your helmet, 8% mana reservation efficiency of skill. You need to get this level of mod. This is grand. Otherwise, you can't activate your auras. Despair Curse effect is the other. Worth to mention here, we have a helm enchantment. Toxic Rain deals increased damage. On gloves, spell suppression, and while there is a unique enemy in your presence, chaos damage over time multiplier. On boots, avoid elemental elements and increased action speed. Before we starting the flask section, with Pathfinder you don't have to cap your resistance with your gear because you will have 100% uptime on the resistance flask. So you don't have to worry about capping your resistance with the gear, just your chaos resistance. Flasks we using is a ruby, topaz, a unique sapphire flask, taste of fate, silver and a divine life flask. On the utility flask you need to have this mod, reduced duration and increased effect. Pay attention when you rolling your flask, because there is many mod combination with these two, but the duration reduced even bigger, so your flask will not have 100% uptime. The sub-mods on these two is reduced mana cost of skills and additional resistance. On the silver flask, you need to get this mod, increase charge recovery and reduce effect. The reason is why. You will have much better uptime on boss fights with this combination than other setup. The sub-mod is increased attack speed. On the life flask, increase the amount recovered and reduce recovery rate, and craft chance to avoid being stunned during effect. With this you will have stun immunity. Pantheons we using is the following. On boss fights, Soul of Solaris, Minor, Soul of Rislata. The low life part could be life saving if you start panicking when your life drop below half. For mapping, I'm switching to Soul of Lunaris and take the Bleed Pantheon, Soul of Relakesh. Bandits, 2 passive point. I just want to highlight a few things on the passive tree that you need for the build. Using 2 8 passive cluster jewel with Wicked Pole, Unwaveringly Evil and Unholy Grace. 2 medium cluster jewel with Brew for Potency and Flow of Life. We using the same cluster as well here. On the other side of the tree, 8 passive cluster jewel with Wicked Pole, Unwaveringly Evil and Unholy Grace. Using 3 unique jewel. The first is a Watcher Eye with physical damage from hits taken as lightning damage while affected by Purity of Lighting, Ancestral Vision, modifiers to chance to spell suppression, also applies to chance to avoid elemental elements at half of their value. Warrior's Tale to increase the tattoos in rage. The rest of the jewels is area damage, life and chaos damage over time multiplier. We using many tattoos. Every single dexterity node is changed to 2% life, the small int nodes to skill effect duration. One big dexterity node change, +1 level to dexterity skill gems. We taking Pathfinder as our Ascendancy. On your first lab we take Nature Reprisal. I'm leveled with Toxic Rain, so this node was a game changer in the early acts. Second lab, Nature's Adrenaline. Now you generating flash charges. Third lab, Nature's Boon. Uber lab, Master Surgeon. Now your life flask will be active even if you reached full life. Gem and Gemling starting with our meaning in our bow, Toxic Rain, Awakened Void Manipulation, Efficacy, Empower level 4, Divenged Mirage Archer, and Awakened Witch's Projectile. When you doing maps, switch out the Toxic Rain to Caustic Arrow, Divenged Mirage Archer to Awakened Aurora Nova Support. In our body armor or secondary source of damage, Toxic Rain, multiple totems, Awakened Void Manipulation, Focused Ballista, Ballista Totem, and Awakened Witch's Projectiles. In our gloves, Purity of Lighting, Malevolence, Enlighten level 4, Anomalous Petrified Blood. In our boots, Inspiration, Haste, Divine Blessing, and Flame Dash. In our helmet, Enchance, Empower level 4, Despair, and on a separate link, Summons Guitar Bots. I hope you enjoyed this video about my all-rounder build. If you have any question, please leave a comment below. Also, I would like to say thank you to my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching, I was Pidget, see you next time.